Hey, so with the upcoming release of James Gunn's new Superman movie coming out in July, I'm doing a review series on a bunch of the previous Superman movies. I'm doing, I'm covering both the live action and the animated films. There's about I think 33 to 35 in between. Today we're going to be talking about the third Christopher Reeves film, Superman 3. And as I said recently with my review of Superman the movie from 1978 and Superman 2, um, this is a first time watch, and honestly, it's probably going to be a last time watch. Of this did not really work for me. I still enjoy Christopher Reeve in the role of Superman, but it felt like they were much more interested. The directors and the producers were much more interested in putting the main focus on Richard Pryor as a character named Gus Gorman, to where the focus is mostly on him throughout the majority of the movie. And when we do get focused on Superman, it's not focused that I enjoy. First off, with Richard Pryor, uh, if you enjoy his style of comedy and you enjoy his movies, okay, good for you. That's awesome. I'm glad you can get enjoyment out of it. For me, I I have yet to find a Richard Pryor movie that I enjoy. Like his style of comedy just falls completely flat for me. I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy his style of comedy. Like I don't enjoy his style of comedy. I don't enjoy his comedic timing. He is a he just doesn't like. I do not enjoy anything he's in. Like, and this is no exception. Like I just he's not a likable character to begin with, and I just the way he's written just is just kind of like this weird, goopy, obnoxious kind of computer genius guy who is somehow both the smartest guy on the planet and also the actions he takes kind of like some one of the dumbest almost with some of his decisions and actions. And the movie ends up going into very slapstick territory for a bunch of the choices to where like the open segment of the movie is um, if you watch the channel Sean Chandler talks about, he's talked about whenever he's done reviews and rankings of these movies, that it's kind of like a Mr. Magoo style like series of incidents. That's exactly what this is. It's like just like, oh well, there's a blind guy walking his dog, and like the dog ends up getting away from him, and when he grabs onto like a tar machine, he thinks he's still walking his dog, and he's putting tar over the road like, and oh, the guy ran over a fire hydrant, and he's drowning inside his car, like, and like, okay, this is stupid. Um, doesn't really do it for me, and that's our big opening introduction to Superman. Is Mr. Magoo style antics with a blind guy and his dog and a tar machine and a man nearly drowning to death in his car because he ran over a fire hydrant. Okay. Doesn't really do it for me. Um, I don't like the whole idea of like the whole. I understand what they were trying to do with the whole idea of Superman becoming like an evil Superman, and you get to the point at one point in the movie to where he actually splits into Superman and Clark Kent, to where like you have like the evil Superman and he's fighting Clark Kent, but the Clark Kent has like Superman style strength. Um, I enjoy Christopher Reeves in the role of Superman, but seeing him be evil and being kind of an asshole just kind of like leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Like you don't want to see Superman being a jerk or being like mean spirited in general. Like you just don't want to see that with Superman in any case. But Christopher Reeve's version of Superman, especially, it just puts a very sour taste in your mouth. because like he has like this majority of like he is like a very hopeful, uplifting, like he is the most hopeful and pure version of Superman that is supposed to inspire hope and like just make you feel good and just like it works really well as like something that is supposed to be uplifting and joyous. When you see him being a jerk and he's destroying oil tankers and he's like he's you know there's this running gag where like three different times in the movie he's like screaming at the Tower of Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's like, oh, well, he straightened it out. Oh, well, he felt bad later, so then he went back and put it tilt back. And both times, it seems more interested in showing this guy with like these Leaning Tower of Pisa sculptures and being frustrated that like, oh, well, Superman just ruined my business. Doesn't really work. The only part of this movie that I think does work pretty solidly that I did enjoy was we get Lois Lane. She is not in this movie very long. She ends up being sent off on some kind of cruise to where she's like kind of written out of the movie. I don't know if there was scheduling conflicts or something with Margaret Kidder, but we end up getting Lana Lang as the love interest of Clark Kent, especially. Like it's more focused on her being giving Clark Kent a love interest rather than Superman, and I think it works pretty good. Getting to see Clark Kent in Smallville and getting to see him like like getting to explore a little bit more of his background there and some of the people that he used to know and him and the chemistry that he has with Lana Lang, I think it works pretty good. And I would have been interested to see what would have happened if she had been incorporated into Superman 4 Professor Priest. Like, I don't know why she wasn't brought back. I can only assume that maybe it's because that Superman 3 just wasn't received as well as they hoped. Uh, but yeah, for what they were doing in the movie, I thought Lana Lang was in my opinion, I almost thought she's in competition for me personally as being a better love interest for Clark Kent than Margot Kidder's Lois Lane in the previous two movies. Like I appreciate her chemistry more, and there's just something a little bit more that I can get behind somebody that is like Lana Lang being in love with Clark Kent and showing that kind of relationship develop between the two of them. Where Lois Lane, it's very much of infatuation with Superman, and she doesn't really show interest in Clark Kent until she's like, "Oh, well, you're Superman, so yeah, like I guess I do love Clark Kent." But there's that. Towards the end of the movie, you get this really goopy segment where Richard Pryor's character has asked these villains to create this massive supercomputer, and it's just a overall goopy segment to where there's no tension at all because they're firing like rockets and missiles and stuff at Superman, and it's like, okay, like they're acting like, okay, we're gonna kill Superman with these missiles, and it's y'all, do y'all not know Superman? Like, it's like this kind of stuff. And there's like a Superman video game graphic where it's like a side-scrolling like Superman thing, and it's like we got video game graphics and stuff, and it's like pew 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 pew, and it's like okay. And when Richard Pryor turns off the machine, the supercomputer gains sentience and starts malfunctioning, and it's got like a kryptonite laser beam. Even though somehow they don't explain how they managed to discover the exact components of kryptonite. Uh, yeah, it's just you have one of the villains gets randomly turned into like this robot cyborg, type character that visually looks interesting enough for like an evil robot villain, but gets defeated rather easily, and it's like, okay, well, that happened. Uh, yeah, overall, Superman 3 just didn't really do it for me. I enjoy Christopher Reeves when he's more hopeful and uplifting and not being a jerk. And this film is far too much of him just being an asshole. It doesn't work for me. Uh, so apart from the Christopher Reeves moments where he's being Superman and being like the joyful, uplifting version, and Lana Lang, personally, I don't enjoy this movie, and it's just I don't see any reason for rewatching it anytime soon. Uh, yeah, it just didn't do what I needed for a Superman movie. Let me know in the comment section down below. What y'all think of Superman 3? Um, how do you feel about the actor Richard Pryor? Like, do you like his style of comedy? Are you like me? Do you think his comedy is kind of annoying or obnoxious? What do you think of how they portrayed Lana Lang in this movie? Do you prefer her over Margaret Kidder's Lois Lane, or do you prefer Lois Lane? Well, leave your comments down below, and talk to you later. Bye.